This April Fool's Day, the real joke is on taxpayers, or at least anyone who relies on electricity or has to pay an electricity bill, because the renewable energy zealots remain in their fantasy land.
Yes, you can say the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine. Well, the rain doesn't always fall either, but we manage to store the water. We can store the renewable energy if we have the investment. And that is investment that has been lacking for the last decade. That's the problem.
Yeah, the bad news is that Chris Bowen was serious in that clip. It had all the credibility of an April Fool's joke, but he's serious. He reckons we can store electricity like we store water, completely ignoring the massive cost of batteries and the fact that they can never store enough electricity for long enough to firm up renewables. And his solution, after the hundreds of billions of dollars being spent on renewables has pushed up prices, his solution is to spend more money on the same policy, and yet he reckons that will bring prices down. Do the same thing, but expect the opposite result. What madness. Remember, Labor promised electricity price cuts based on its modelling.
This is the most comprehensive modelling ever done for any policy by any opposition in Australia's history since Federation.
And now, with power prices at unprecedented levels, rising by more than 3 times the amount they were supposed to be cut, and with no sign of price reductions in the future, Labor is disowning the same modelling it built its policy and promises on.
It's Reputex's modelling. It's Reputex's modelling.
You took ownership of that modelling.
It's Reputex's modelling from that time. It's Reputex's modelling based upon the circumstances at that time.
Now, this is serious. This is not politics. This is the future of our nation. This is planning to ensure we have reliable supplies of electricity and affordable electricity. You know, to run our homes, our schools, our hospitals, our factories, our entire society. And last night, the Climate and Energy Minister too walked away from this modelling.
Well, no, because it's 2025, not 2021, and that was modelling done in 2021 for a 2022 election. It was the modelled impact of our policies for the 2022 election. We're now going to the 2025 election. You don't go to every election with exactly the same policy documents.
Now, this is alarming because Labor has no new modelling. Its old modelling was wrong, so far out that instead of prices going down by $275 a year, they went up by $1,000 or more a year. So, of course, that modelling is ditched. It's rubbish. It's been debunked. But Labor has no new modelling. So Labor's power price modelling is cooked. Prices have skyrocketed and reliability has fallen. Yet Labor, wait for it, Labor's plan for our electricity grid is exactly the same as it was under that old discredited modelling. They are still going ahead with exactly the same failed plan. Just incredible. Just national energy self-harm. And have a listen to the lies they tell to try to justify their obsession.
Let me make a couple of brief but important points, Sarah. Firstly, new transmission is necessary regardless of how the energy is generated, whether it's coal, gas, nuclear or renewables.
No, that is a lie. It is the renewables plan that needs all the new transmission lines. And he knows it. More than $100 billion needs to be spent on transmission lines to connect the hundreds of new wind farms and solar factories under Labor's renewables plan. That's a large part of what drives up power prices, because every dollar spent on transmission is guaranteed a certain rate of return, a certain profit. And new transmission lines generally are not needed for gas plants or nuclear plants. They can be built alongside of or at the end of existing transmission lines. That's a large part of their benefit. They plug into the existing compact electricity grid. Labor's renewables plan turns the whole eastern seaboard into a vast and dispersed grid of transmission and generation networks, blighting landscapes, increasing costs and decreasing reliability. Our energy self-harm cannot continue. We are undermining our entire economy and society. Clearly, it will continue if Labor is re-elected. Despite its failures, it is doubling down on the same plan.